What's up, everybody, and welcome to Ohio Sports Talk. I'm your host, Doug. We are going live, waiting for Jordan. He got stuck in some traffic. Sorry about the hiccups. Excited to be here with you guys tonight. Loaded episode for you guys. First things I want to get off my chest. Can we please stop recording athletes and celebrities in their normal life? Recently, a video of Zach Edey emerged of him going into a dorm room with a young gal. Can we please stop treating people like this? Can we please stop invading their personal lives and making them uncomfortable in situations that are totally natural? I mean, think about it, guys. Would you want to be recorded going into some girl's room and blasted all over the internet for just being a young celebrity adult? Just doing what you do. I mean, it's college. This is what happens. And I just feel terrible for these guys who have to have their whole life put on camera just for some clicks and views on the internet. Just really don't like it. Wanted to just get that off my chest. Stop filming athletes. Let them live their lives. Let celebrities live their lives. Let them be young. Let them make mistakes. But it doesn't have to be on camera. And I think that's a big issue for people is everything has to be in front of the camera. As a content creator or trying to be a content creator, I understand how that comes off, but I do think that the kids deserve a little bit more than that. So that's the initial thoughts as we get started here. Excited to be here with you guys tonight. The Reds doing you. We're going to get in more to that when Jordan gets in here. And then we're definitely going to talk Cavs. We're going to start with the Cavs, guys. Cavs drop another one last night. The Suns beat up on the Cavs all night. We've got Donovan Mitchell returning from an injury. He's struggling with his health. The team is limping into the playoffs, and it just doesn't feel right. It feels like as you're heading into the playoffs, you should be getting stronger and stronger. And right now, the Cavs are not. They ended up losing by 21 last night. Mitchell and KD just absolutely Booker and KD torched the Cavs last night. They had no answers. Okoro was missing, but I don't know if that changes really anything. Yeah, I mean, Booker had 40. Durant had 32. They smoked us. Beal didn't have to do much of anything. Nurkic didn't have to do much of anything. And then you look at the numbers. Well, the vast majority of this game was out of reach. Cavs had a decent third quarter, kind of made it interesting for a second. But look at the minutes for the starters. Mobley, 36. Allen, 37. Garland, 40. Mitchell, 38. Strus, 38. And then you look at the bench. Besides LeVert and Niang, nobody played over 10 minutes off the bench. Why are we running our starters out there in a game that's a blowout when you're in the last home stretch of your season, and you have an injured Mitchell who's trying to get healthy and work his way back in? Why is he playing 38 minutes in a clear blowout? It just does not make sense. These decisions JB's making with the roster continue to be head scratching, continue to worry me. I know it's crazy, but the Cavs are still in third in the East. I think that more is an indication of how bad the East is top to bottom this season than the Cavs being a really good team. They struggle mightily with teams over 500, with a 500 record, and that happened again last night. They're lucky that the Bucks are 5-5 in their last 10. That keeps them a game and a half out of second. Boston has completely run away with this thing, and it's not even close at this point. I'm worried, guys. I know some people on the internet are still trying to hold on to that hope, but I just don't see it at this point. I think the Cavs are going to be a one and done in the playoffs, and that hurts me to say because I think this team has the potential to make a run, and I'm expecting so much more from this team, and we're not getting it. I do want to shout out the big guys. It didn't matter last night, but Mobley and Allen did have good games. They both scored over 20. They continue to play good basketball. That's all you can ask from those guys is just a battle. Battle on the boards, battle in the blocks. Mobley, keep shooting those threes. Allen, keep working hard in the paint. I've believed in you all year. I've been calling you a top 5 center. I think you're going to keep proving that. But just the meshing of the roster. Garland doesn't work with Mitchell. I think it's apparent. I think it's been apparent. This team is missing a wing scorer in a bad way. If there was a way to if this team loses in the first round, to me, you've got to go all in on re-signing Mitchell, and you've got to make a trade. If it's Brandon Ingram, if it's another one of these all-star caliber small forwards, package Garland and something else, and try to go out and get one of these guys to fit with Mitchell and maybe really make a run towards it going forward. Cavs have this weekend. They're playing both LA teams in LA. They've got the Lakers on Saturday, the Clippers on Sunday. Clippers, to me, are the more winnable game of the two, with Kawhi being injured and some things not going the Clippers' way. They're not playing great basketball in their own right. So that one's a little bit more winnable to me. I think LeBron and AD are trying to make that push in the standings. They're only 2 games out of the 8th seed. So I expect them to go really, really hard in that Lakers versus Cavs game. So look at them to try to steal that Clippers game on Sunday more than they do the Saturday game. Next, I'm worried about the defense more than I am the offense with the Cavs. I do think anybody can get hot and get going at the right time. But if you look at the defense, it's just down across the board. The rotations are slow. The on-ball defense is bad. Their points per game to their opponent's points per game is down to plus 2.7. At one point this year, they were plus 6 or a little bit higher. The defense is just dropping off just at an alarming rate. I'm worried. I'm really, really worried about the Cavs, guys. I know I voiced that on Twitter. I appreciate everybody who interacts with me on that. It's been one of those roller coaster seasons. Injuries, players missing time repeatedly after one after another. It's been super difficult, super difficult. But we'll touch on it when Jordan gets back here. Cavs got to make a run here at the end. They could still get to 50 wins. They've got 5 games left, 2 versus the LA teams. They've got the Grizzlies at home, the Pacers at home, the Hornets at home. If they lose to the Lakers on Saturday and win the last 4, I will feel a little bit better, and they'll get that 50 win mark. I just don't know if it's going to happen at this point. It's really, I feel bleak about the whole situation. I hope other people have more faith in the Cavaliers. I'm personally just I'm ready for this year to almost be over and see what happens with the roster. Again, this could change next week. I could be completely on a different attitude with the playoffs come and we see a different team. I'll definitely change my tune. But as of now, I am worried about the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right, guys, next on the agenda, we have the Cincinnati Reds. They are officially 4-2 on the season. They are 2-0 in their first 2 series. This coming weekend, the Mets are in town. I will be going to the game on Saturday. I'm excited. I'll do a little video here and there for the Saturday game. That's going to be a fun one against the Mets. Mets are having a tough go of it, to say the least, to start the year. They are a talented ball club, but they are struggling mightily at 0-5. The Marlins are the only team worse at 0-7. Guys, first initial thoughts on the Reds. To me, this is such a fun team. They're just fun to watch. Everything about this team is energy, excitement, just fun baseball. I understand that they dropped the one in the first one of the games against the Nationals they shouldn't have dropped. But I think every other game, besides the Bryce Harper 3 home run game, it's about competing. This team never gives up. There's always a chance with this team. Every at-bat, until the very end, the last 3 outs, this team has an opportunity. I want to shout out our guy, Spencer Steer. He has stepped up in a massive way this season. He's sitting 435. He's got 10 hits. His OBP is 480. He's been a guy who would usually probably be our 3rd or 4th best player. But with McClain out and some of the things going on, Steer has been the driving force behind this team. He's been excellent this season, getting it done in a massive way. And that leads me into our pitching staff. Frankie Montas, 11 innings pitched so far. He's given up 1 run. He's struck out 9. He's got a .77 ERA. That's what an ace does, guys. I know that it's the ERA is going to bloom a little bit. It's going to probably, rise because of the game. The MLB game, there's just so much hitting now. But man, has he pitched really, really well. It's been super exciting seeing him pitch at this level. And I'm just so excited for him because, he comes in for that the year contract, and he's looking to potentially get paid next year. You pitch like this, man, you're going to make a lot of money. Thing I do want to touch on, though, I'm personally worried about the bullpen. I know things are not great right now with the injuries and everything, and some of the decisions made by the staff to who they're going to bring in and keep on the roster. Diaz is he's got the save, but he's kind of not been himself. He's lacking that pop on his pitches that he had last year. I hope there's no real injury with him, but I just think there's something nagging him that's not getting him all the way back to his self last year. Let's see. Like I said, we got the Mets coming up. You know what? This is a perfect opportunity for a team like the Reds to go on a nice 3-game win streak, take this series from them, and just kind of continue this momentum. Beating the Phillies twice. The Phillies are a good baseball team. Beat them twice, go into the Mets game or Mets series, win 3 there at home. We've got Hunter Green on the hill tomorrow night. I'm going to come out and say, guys, if Hunter Green's on the mound and you're a sports bettor, I'm taking over 8.5 strikeouts every time he's up. I know I took it the other night when his first outing, and he had 7. So I was right on the edge. But Hunter Green, I'm excited for him to get back out there after his first outing, which was a really strong outing from him. He's going to face a solid Mets lineup that's not hitting the ball well. But I expect him to go deeper into the game. He pitched 4 2/3 last time, gave up 5 hits, walked 4. He's got to get a little bit better with the control on some of his pitching, but I'm expecting him to improve. There's a reason they slotted him at the number 2 in the rotation, and I think this is going to be a game against the Mets where he really shines, and I'm expecting big things from him. So tomorrow night, Hunter Green, I'm saying he goes 6 innings. I'm going to go with 9 strikeouts against the Mets. I think he gets the walks down. I'm going to say 2 walks, and he gives up 2 runs against the Mets. That should be a very winnable game for the Reds on Friday night. And then we get Martinez going on Saturday. He pitched okay. He gave up 6 hits, 3 earned runs in the 5 innings he worked the other day. I think he's a solid pitcher. I think he could be the guy to be replaced, though, when Lodolo comes back. So for now, he's a good figurehead for the team because he's a decent pitcher, not fantastic. I'll be watching him pitch closely on Saturday. One more thing with the Reds, guys. Elly De La Cruz. He's the most popular player on the team. He's the most polarizing player on the team, obviously. Elly he got the average to 250 right now. He is leading the team in strikeouts, which to me is expected at this point. He's still got a lot of work to do. He's only 22, guys. Only 22. It's going to take time. But I did not love the other night against the Phillies the way he was playing in the field. I thought he was lazy. I thought there was not a lot of good mechanics with his defense. And to me, that's got to be the calling card. If you're not hitting the ball well, you've got to be a fantastic defender. And I don't think Elly was doing that the other night. Jordan's here, guys. Let me pull him in. Give me 1 second. Jordan.
Yes,
what's
sir.
up, what's going on, man? How's traffic?
Traffic is wild. It's raining up here in Cincinnati, and it's between ice and rain, so nobody wants to drive.
Gotcha. Yep. So we're just talking a little bit of Reds here, bud. Any thoughts on Elly De La Cruz? I just touched on the fact that he's had some strikeouts. but he's kind of working through stuff. A young player, it takes time. Any thoughts on Ellie? Ellie, as we're going to get ready to move on. Thoughts?
My thoughts on Ellie, to kind of touch back to the beginning of the season, even going through spring training. He came out like a bottle of lightning. We called him up. He only had a total of about 115 at bats in AAA. So he went from AAA straight to the big leagues last season. Pitchers didn't know who he was, didn't know how to really pitch to him, other than a couple fastballs. They learned how to do the curveball. They have film on him, and he's going to work through that. He's going to work through his progressions. He's going to pick and choose. He's going to get better. Being harsh on a 22-year-old, and I remind our viewers, a 22-year-old in the big leagues doing what he's already doing, it's phenomenal. So the ceiling is high. And we as fans, and I'm guilty of it as well, we as fans, we as analysts, we can't be hard on the young man. He's going to learn. He's going to get better. He needs plate appearances. He's going to get them. He needs time to learn. He's going to get them. The Reds organization, they're going to help him out. And, even kind of learning English so he can communicate better with both the media and fans. He wants to be here. So I think we need to pump the brakes a little bit. Yeah, 3 errors. You never want to see it in a game against the Phillies. But he rebounded last night. He had a solid at bat that brought in some runs, and we'll move forward from there. So I'm confident with him. You're muted.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, great points by you. Appreciate that. Glad you got in here. Thank you for making it work, even though you were obviously in traffic. Anything else you want to touch on, though, Jordan? I touched on the Cavs. I touched on the Reds. Anything you want to touch on with the Cavs or the Reds before we move on?
The Cavaliers, it's infuriating. It's infuriating from top to bottom. If Donovan Mitchell wasn't ready to play, then he shouldn't have played against the Suns. Just plain and simple. If the knee's really bothering him that much, and I'm no doctor, I'm not saying one way or another. I'm not swaying that way. But if there was an underlying reason that, he wasn't ready, and his shooting performance kind of told the story all we needed to know. His passing didn't look crisp and clean. His turnovers were extremely uncharacteristic. And it kind of brings the rest of the team down when you see your best guy not performing well, not getting back to the other end on defense. And it's against the Suns. The Suns are a loaded team from top to bottom with talent. Booker went off for 40. Just happened to be against us. Our big men played well, but just the Cavaliers coaching staff, if he's hurt, then we gotta take care of him. We gotta, Karis LeVert the night before had an outstanding game, shot about 72% from the field, put up good points, and that rotation of him and Garland should have been what the Cavs went with. We'll get some guys back. I think having a moment here. I know Dean Wade's close to being cleared. I know Isaac Okoro is really close to being cleared. So we'll get some rotational guys back, and we'll get some defensive guys back, most certainly, and that's going to help. But we've got to take care of our superstar going to the playoffs. So if he's not ready, keep him on the rehab, keep him in the shoot-arounds, and shut it down until it's time to rock. And really get those bench players going, because the bench absolutely looked abysmal against Phoenix.
Yeah, I talked about the numbers earlier. They had 2 people over 10 points on the bench, and that was LeVert and Niang, and nobody else even played over 10 minutes in that game. Crazy decision by that staff in a blowout. I don't understand it, but I commented on that a little bit. Jordan, let's transition into the NFL draft, buddy. Right off the bat, I think we agree on the first pick, but what are your thoughts on the NFL draft? Here's our draft board, guys. We got the draft order on the left. We've got Bears, Washington, Patriots, Cardinals, Chargers, Giants, Titans, Falcons, Bears, Jets. Jordan, take me through your mock draft. Take me through your thoughts on those first 10 picks.
A lot of it, and this was just my judgment, a lot of it was based on the positions that I thought the teams to be necessary. So could it have been a little bit different there later? Yes. But some of the defensive guys and offensive guys I got coming off a little bit earlier than most projections were based on the team needs. And I was kind of touched on that Monday a little bit. But that's kind of the way I piece this together. Caleb Williams obviously is going to be the number one. He's already been in Chicago. He's already got a facility key. They built the wide receivers around him through trades. Washington, that's just, and that the 2 and the 3 they could easily be swapped. But Washington, I think going with that quarterback and Daniels is just a better decision for him when it comes to the system that you're kind of looking at Washington and the talent they currently have around them. Because I think the drafting the number 3 there, to me, I don't know. Maybe that quarterback's a little bit overreach from North Carolina, but I'm pretty comfortable with it.
Okay, what do you got at 4?
At 4, that's a no-brainer. That's the number 1 wide receiver coming off the board. Arizona, if they're sticking with their quarterback situation, then the man needs weapons. Yeah. So Marvin Harrison Jr. it's just an absolute no-brainer. No-brainer.
Okay. 5, Chargers. You think they're gonna pair Joe Alt with oh crap, what's his name? They got a good tackle, and I'm drawing a blank on his name now. Oh, he's from Northwestern. But yeah, keep going. Yeah.
No, I think with the new
Rashawn Slater. Sorry,
Sean Slater. I think with a new coaching regime there, you got to start in the trenches. They let a lot of their big wide receivers and weapons walk, but both via free agency and trade. So to me, it's a no-brainer. If you're you want to protect your young quarterback that you're going to pay, new coaching staff there, we got to get him some protection. He plays in a division where you look over at the Raiders, who kind of beefed up on defense. You look at the Denver Broncos and kind of what they're doing. Their philosophy is more leaned on defense with Sean Payton and company. So you got to protect your quarterback. You have the best quarterback in the division as it stands right now. We got to protect him up front.
Okay, that makes sense to me. Okay, next we move to the Giants. What are we doing with the Giants?
If they're sticking with Daniel Jones, then you got to go tight end here. The current tight end that they traded for from the Raiders, he's borderline talking retirement almost in every interview exclusively. I don't think he ever wanted to leave Oakland. I think he was a John Gruden guy. He turned his life around. He was a feel-good story, but he's nicked up with injuries, and they're severely overpaying him for the amount of games they're getting out of him. It's not a knock on his talent, but I would go tight end in that situation, and that's why I got Bowers going at 6.
Okay, I like that pick. What's next on the agenda? You got the Titans taking Malik Neighbors. You think he gets all the way to 7? I think that's interesting because I think he's the kind of guy who has talent that could be a top 5 pick. Explain to me your thoughts of getting him at 7.
I think he slips down, not due to talent, definitely not due to any of the workouts and things of that nature that the combine comes with and on pro days. He's graded out really well on a lot of those areas. I think just basing my mock draft, my top 10, basing on positional needs, I think the Titans get a steal here. So that's my opinion. And new head coach for the Titans. He brings his dad over from Cleveland, one of the best offensive line coaches in the league, and I think they get lucky here. I really do.
Okay, all right, and then next pick for the Falcons. What do you got?
For the Falcons, this is kind of their philosophy the last couple of years. So I'm happy with this pick. It's kind of an overreach for the top 10. I know a lot of people are going to break it down to that, but I'm pretty solid that they'll lean this way.
Okay, Dallas. You like Dallas Turner? In mine, I took Jared Verse. I thought he was the top pass rusher, but I like the Dallas Turner pick there. What was your thoughts there? Was there a reason you went Turner instead of Verse? Something you saw that you liked?
I like Turner's versatility. I think he can go more east and west when it comes to stretch plays and things of that nature. And it was splitting hairs, to be 100%. But I think Turner's a guy that you want on a team for 5 to 10 years if you can get that out of him.
Nope, 100%. That's a good pick. And then you're the Bears in their second pick in the top 10. Who you got?
I got him going offensive line. So I think this is a solid pick. If you're gonna draft a quarterback and you've already put weapons in place via free agency and trades, then you got to upgrade their offensive line. They were bottom tier, I think 31 out of 32 offensive wise when Justin Fields was there, and you can't repeat the past.
Right.
Whether you want to blame coaching or offensive line, you gotta protect your asset. We can look around the league. The biggest offender on that. As a Bengals fan, we got Joe Burrow, and we get protection till late in his career, and I don't think the Bears can afford to wait around for that.
Okay, I like that pick. That's a good rationale there. And then at number 10, you have the Jets taking Jerzon Newton. Explain that pick for us.
The Jets, it was kind of hard to think about because they have a lot of veterans there, but positional need, that was just kind of where I was leaning for them. They're just their philosophy and things like that. They're pretty set offensively, so this pick made a lot of sense. I think he's going to be there at 10. And I think it would be for the Jets long run because they really didn't address that position in free agency. So I think they go here at 10. It's a safe bet, and it's not necessarily too much of a stretch. A lot of draft boards got them going top 15. So I'm pretty comfortable that the Jets make this pick.
Okay, I like it. I like where you went there. Bears. Here's my mock draft, everybody. Bears, I think we're gonna stay with Caleb Williams. I think that's obvious. What they've done to build around Caleb Williams is gonna make. I think they're gonna be a really good team right off the bat. Throwing to Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, what a luxury that is. Cole Kmet is a good tight end. Swift is a good running back. They're really deep on offense. So Caleb Williams, number 1. Washington, I'm gonna go Jaden Daniels also. I like his two-way ability a lot. I think he brings that extra flair that Drake may not. Drake may have the bigger arm, but I think Jaden Daniels has a couple more assets that Drake May does not. But I do see Drake May going to the Patriots and starting his career there. At 4, I have a trade, Jordan. I have the Vikings trading into the top 10. This has been a rumor that's kind of circulating around the NFL. The Vikings trade up to 4 to get J.J. McCarthy from Michigan.
Really?
Yeah, I'm buying into the chatter. I'm putting that on my board. J.J. McCarthy to the Vikings at 4. And then I think that gives the Cardinals some options because then they have the 11th pick and they have another pick in the top in the first round. In the later part of the first round, I think that gives them some capital. That gives them two opportunities to bring in receivers to help out Kyler Murray. So that was my thoughts. Is they add some more. Adding draft capital is never a bad idea in my opinion. At 5, I've got the Chargers taking Marvin Harrison. At 6. I kind of tossed this one back and forth. I was thinking, should the Giants take a quarterback? Will they take a quarterback? I landed on Malik Neighbors. I think he's a talent that you cannot pass up at that position. So give me Malik Neighbors to join the Giants and give Daniel Jones a number 1 option. At 7, I've got Joe Alt going to the Titans. You got to protect Will Levis, and I think Joe Alt is the best in the draft at his position. So give me Joe Alt to the Titans. I think that just makes a ton of sense. At number 8, I've got Jared Verse. To me, Jared Verse is the best pass rusher in this draft, and the Falcons are going to need every bit of that as they work into their new offense with Kirk Cousins. You're going to have to get people off the field, and Jared Verse is a fantastic pass rusher. I think that pick makes a lot of sense for them. Bears, now that I saw your mock draft, I'm wondering why I went this direction, but at the same time, you pair Dallas Turner with some of the people that the Bears made moves for last season. I think that defensive line is very scary if they can get Dallas Turner, a guy who can do more a little bit more than Jared Verse, but he doesn't pass rush at the level Jared Verse does. And then the Jets get lucky, and Brock Bowers falls to them at 10, giving Aaron Rodgers a security blanket.
Yes.
And if you look at his career, he's always utilized the tight end very well. And this could be a fantastic position for Brock Bowers, who is one of the most complete tight ends to ever enter the NFL draft. Thoughts there, Jordan, on some of those decisions I made?
No, I like where you went, and I do, looking at the Bears pick, it does make a lot of sense. Pairing somebody else up with Montez Sweat and company, I like that. I can appreciate that big time.
Yeah.
So the trade has me I haven't heard as much chatter as you have.
Okay.
But I definitely could see that the trade would be interesting. That would be almost a big blockbuster move. Especially, you know, McCarthy, I honestly had him as a round 3 guy.
Wow.
A couple weeks, but he didn't perform particularly well at the combine. We all saw the footage, and he's been kind of a systematic quarterback in Michigan, supported by a phenomenal run game and a top tier offensive line when it comes to NCAA football. So I think I don't have him rated that high, but when you're in quarterback need, I can see that trade going through most certainly. I like the trade. Arizona gets some more, capital, but how much does Arizona want to wait before their rebuild is kind of mentally completed? But
but think about this, Jordan. If the Vikings do trade, the Vikings have the 11th or 12th pick. If they do trade up, Arizona still has that pick, and there's still guys like Roma Dunze available, who's he's a number 1 by most standards in the NFL. So I think it's a smart move for the Cardinals. You don't lose that much dropping down a few spots, and you get the additional picks. Something I would look forward to in the top 10. Shout out Tyler McGurk, good friend of the show, great friend from the VSN network. We appreciate you for stopping in. Jordan, his question is, would you rather build around Michael Penix Jr. or Bo Nix? What are your thoughts, buddy?
Bo Nix has the greater experience on a college level, and he brings a little age and season. So if you're wanting instant results, I would go with Bo Nix.
Okay. I would go with Penix Jr. I think he's a better football player. Watching him play against Oregon twice this year, I was really impressed. Was not as impressed in the playoff, but I think Michael Penix is a better football player than Bo Nix. So give me Michael Penix. I think it's close, though. I don't think it's like a landslide or anything. I think Bo Nix is a solid player. I just would rather take a risk on Penix than Bo Nix, in my opinion. Jordan, any thoughts on the NFL draft? Obviously, man, we got a big month. We've got a lot going on. What are your thoughts going forward, man? NFL draft. It's a great time of year.
It's a great time of year. I do think outside of the top 10, I think we're going to see some more trades. I do.
Okay.
I think franchises are going to try to go up, and a couple of teams are probably going to move back. So I think it's going to be. I think this year's first round of the draft is going to be more eventful than probably in the last 5 or 6 seasons. So I'm here for it. I'm excited. There's free agencies kind of. If that told you anything, then I was going wild right down to the Diggs trade that was made yesterday for the Houston Texans, who are, in my opinion, putting all their chips in, at least for the AFC South, and they think they got something special going on, and that's going to be interesting to see if Diggs can bring the chemistry. But as for the draft, I'm excited for it. I think we're gonna see just bring your popcorn, a lot of big time trades, and a lot of names that maybe kind of slipped under our radar are going to be taken in the first round. So I'm here for it.
Okay. Yep. I like that. Guys, obviously we're going to have a lot more draft coverage. We're going to have our buddy on to talk Bengals draft, and we're going to cover the Browns draft. It's going to be great. We got some more stuff coming for you guys. We appreciate that. Jordan, let's transition though. In the world of wrestling, it is a massive, massive weekend. Wrestlemania is this weekend, Jordan. Just your initial thoughts, and then we'll get a little deeper into it.
I'm excited. It's the second year in a row we get night 1 and 2 for the new platform. So, I was a big fan of it last year, but seeing The Rock come back full time, I'm pretty pumped. I like the '90s kind of retro that we're getting with some of the blood and some of the language and some of the extremism that we haven't really had in the PG era in the last 5 or 6 years. So I'm excited to see where Triple H and this new regime, and it's the first time in a while and forever, no Vince McMahon. So we're really going to see this company move forward in the new direction they want to take, and it's the grandest scale of them all. It's Super Bowl. It's the gem of gems when it comes to professional world sports.
Oh man, I mean, there is no doubt this is the biggest moment in sports entertainment. As a guy who's kind of gone further away from WrestleMania and WWE, it's still you gotta take a second and look at it and say, wow, this is something special, and that's exactly what it is. Like you said, The Rock coming back and putting together a nice run here to WrestleMania. There was an ESPN article that just came out. He had 2 rings built, one in LA, and I believe the other was in Hawaii or something. And he's been training and having people come out and work matches with him to get prepared for this. So I love the fact that he's taking it serious. And I think, if anything, that tag team match between The Rock, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, that's the thing that I would be most intrigued to see if I do end up watching. Like I said, I'm going to be at the Reds game, so I might not check it out. But if I do end up watching, that's what I'm going to be mainly watching for. Jordan, is there any other match on the card that you think is must see?
I think the Usos going at it for the first time
I don't give a shit. They've already done it.
Have they though?
Yes.
On this kind of scale?
Oh my God. Is there any stipulation to the match?
Not that I know of. There's no stipulation.
you gotta get the fuck out of here with that, dude. There's no way.
But
there's no way.
I looked at the female division. I am excited for Becky Lynch.
Yeah, she's good. She's great.
I think Ripley's going to rock down the house. Like has been really all calendar year when it comes to the pay-per-views. It's been a solid build-up. It's been a little '90s personal. So
it's been good. The little blood.
I'm definitely excited. You know, they took it to different talk shows and different podcasts, and they've got Pat McAfee involved, and I'm pretty excited about that. So, what about you? Is there anything that caught your eye?
I'm a Cody Rhodes fan. I like his work in the ring. So, I mean, and this is my next question, does Cody Rhodes finish the story this year, Jordan?
I don't think it can wait. I don't think it can wait till SummerSlam. I think he's got to complete it right now. Winning the Royal Rumble, it would kind of almost unsolidify the Royal Rumble if you had the Rumble winner lose main eventing WrestleMania back-to-back years. But we still got the Money in the Bank running around. So look for that to disrupt something big time. I think Damian Priest has been sitting on it about almost 12 months.
Does anybody even remember Damian Priest besides you having the Money in the Bank? No. It's meant nothing.
It's meant nothing. He knows that.
If Damian Priest ruins that for Cody Rhodes, the WWE is officially cooked. Those guys suck.
Would you compare it to when Seth Rollins?
No.
Lesnar.
Damian Priest is not even in the realm of Seth Rollins. Not even in the realm. Seth Rollins is a fantastic worker. He's entertaining as hell. He's married to Becky Lynch. He's got everything going for him. There's no way you could have him cash in like Seth did on Brock and Roman. No, don't do it. Don't freaking do it. Don't. Okay, so you don't think Cody finishes the story, or you do?
I do. I think Cody wins this, and I think the Bloodline story. I think Roman Reigns and The Rock go to SummerSlam and have their showdown. Because
would you like The Rock to screw Roman?
I would love The Rock to screw Roman. And there's been little body language signs. You know, he holds up the L instead of the 1. The TV doesn't really get to show it, but his entrance has become his own thing when it comes to the graphics department.
Yeah.
He's been kind of separate from coming out with the bloodline and kind of separate from leaving with the
Okay.
bloodline supporting him. But each presence, other than the time he said he acknowledged him, which
Right.
was on the sarcastic side, I think he screws him over because that was kind of the original story going forward before Triple H sat everybody down and kind of did this little rewrite. So
I think the rewrite's been good. I think it's been smart. Sorry, I'm moving around slow here for whatever reason. Jordan, last thing before we get out of here. What is the money feud for Cody Rhodes then after this? We know Rock and Roman is money, but what is the money feud for Cody Rhodes then?
I would say it would depend on what goes on between Drew McIntyre and Seth, and you kind of have to look at the roster on SmackDown.
You think McIntyre? Cody Rhodes goes through all of. I mean, I like Drew McIntyre. I like him a lot. I would like to see him actually in AEW. But my point is, you think Cody Rhodes goes through all of this just for Drew McIntyre? There's nothing. I don't know what's left. Is my problem with where they're at.
I think there's outside forces that's going to show up, but I'll keep that to myself.
Would you be all right? So you think MJF shows up in MJF's Cody's first feud?
I absolutely do. I think that would be must-see TV for the world of sports nerd.
That would be good. Okay, let's move on. I think there's a lot going on there. Jordan, we've watched wrestling together. We've wrestled together. Yes. We've done every single thing of backyard wrestling possible. We've had ladder matches. We've done all kinds of stupid shit. What is your favorite WrestleMania moment?
I would say Edge versus Mick Foley, WrestleMania 22 hardcore match. Edge throws Mick Foley through there it is. Edge throws Mick Foley through the table. Lita sets a little distraction.
Yep.
And everything that led up to that. You know, they had the thumbtack. He had the barbed wire. He had Mr. Sacco. It was honestly Mick Foley's kind of retirement match, if you want to look at it.
I wish it was. I wish that was his last match.
I wish it was, but that was his last most relevant match in my mind because Monday Night Raw after they retired the hardcore belt, and it was kind of a nice send-off.
It was.
Main story.
Okay. Is there a match that comes to mind that you appreciated? Like I know that's a great moment and it was a good match. Is there a match that comes to mind though for WrestleMania?
I'm going to let you take that question while I kind of ponder it.
Okay, so my match was my favorite WrestleMania match is it's Undertaker versus HBK at WrestleMania 25. It just to me it was the perfect send off. And I thought those guys were very close to being done. I thought that was one of the better matches that I've seen in WWE. I know we're not going to get into these kind of things, match ratings and that kind of stuff, but that's a damn near perfect match, and I thought it was fantastic. And then the next year, I thought, he retires HBK, puts the career on the line. I like those long builds like that worked into the next year. But that first HBK versus Taker match is really, really good wrestling. Really, really good stuff. And then my favorite moment to me is this one here. It's WrestleMania 13. Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin passes out in the sharpshooter. He's got the crimson mask. And that's really what set Stone Cold Steve Austin on fire. Bret really made him that night. And without that match, I don't know if we get what he becomes as the biggest star in WrestleMania or in WWE history, whatever you want to call it. So match Taker versus HBK. Moment, though, is Bret making Stone Cold that night. Did you come up with one? I know I went quick there for you.
No. One that stands out in my mind, and it's kind of generic for what his career became, would have been John Cena and Triple H, because him making Triple H taps, he made DX tap as a unit back-to-back years.
Yeah.
So that stands out in my mind, certainly. And a little bit after that, Randy Orton's RKO against Seth Rollins. Rollins had the
that was the best. That was the best RKO I've ever seen.
That was still the best RKO I've ever seen, and that's I got to put that up there, brother. That we got to watch that together, fortunately. But that RKO that will stand the test of time when it comes to his matches, because they did Randy right and they did Seth right at the end of the night at Money in the Bank. So.
Yeah, no, that was great because that was the RKO where he stepped on the shoulder. He was going to do the curb stomp, flipped him up into the air, and he caught him perfectly. The story behind that is they could not do that perfectly on the run-throughs, and they missed it every time, and then they hit it live, which was really, really cool. Jordan, you got anything else, man, before we get out of here? We've had a long show tonight. You made me go by myself for about 10, 15 minutes. That was pretty shitty. But I appreciate you coming on, and I think we've had a good show. I want to shout out everybody who's watching. We got up to 40 viewers tonight, and then a couple over on YouTube. Nice numbers for us. Appreciate all of you. Any thoughts, Jordan, before we get out of here tonight?
No, as always, I'm grateful to bring this talk show to everybody. I'm grateful to do it with you. We've been talking about it for years. I'm glad we got the ball running, and the only way to go is up from here. Thanks to everybody that joined. We're Ohio Sports Talk. Get on the bandwagon with us on Facebook. Come and see us on. We're active on Twitter. We answer questions. We do good interactions, and the only ceiling is up. Have a great weekend. The Reds are going to finish strong. The Cavaliers face the Lakers. That's going to be some entertaining things there because the Lakers are fighting for their own spot. And it's WrestleMania weekend, so interact with us on Saturday, interact with us on Sunday. I'll be watching more of the wrestling this weekend, so get on Jordan Maxon 2 over on Twitter/X.
No, Jordan, you're taking over Ohio Sports Talk. You're live tweeting the event on the X account for sure.
But we'll be there. So.
All right. Well, hey, Jordan, I appreciate you as always, guys. This has been Ohio Sports Talk. Thank you for rocking with us. We will see you Monday night to recap all the weekend's action. And until then, this is Doug. That's Jordan. See you guys next time.
See you next.